On this first day of June, we have officially hit All-Star Week in the state of Indiana. 5 doubleheaders will be played for north of the Ohio River, and we'll have coverage of those 4 doubleheaders for you on the ISC Sports Network. We start with the junior game, Indiana and Kentucky. Girls first, and then the boys. Today's broadcast of the ISC Sports Network brought to you in part by the Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know. By Galitko and Daly, work, injury, lawyers. Learn more at IndianaWorkers.com. By Lawrence Township Schools. Learn more about Lawrence Excellence at LTSchools.org. By Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance in Avon. Call Nathan Begley today and let's insurance together. By Unranked Hoops, Indy's first Euro-style basketball academy that will start in the fall of 2025. Check out UNRNKD.com. And by Hamilton Southeastern Schools, now open to students outside of the HSE district. Learn more at hseschools.org. Alongside Indiana Basketball Hall of Famer Pete Smith, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us. Charlestown is our site for today's games. This game, since it's been rekindled 3 years ago, has just been played in southern Indiana as a way to make it a little bit of an easier drive for Kentucky. So we have gone from Bedford North Lawrence to Jeffersonville to Scottsburg. Now, Pete, to this wonderful facility that Chad Gilbert and company have put together in the eastern part of Clark County.
It's a beautiful school. We had the opportunity to talk to Chad before the game, and they're excited to host it. And Kentucky looking maybe to change their ways in their series here.
Yeah, Indiana, again, this series was played for a couple of years from, say, 2012 to 2014. Then it was stopped, rekindled right before COVID in 18 and 19, restarted in 22. So this is the 4th time from a junior game that we have played Indiana versus Kentucky. And on the girls' side of the ledger, Indiana's had the better of it, 12-1. Maya Makaleski went off in the second half of last year's game. And to be blunt, the junior class probably is not as deep as the senior class in both the girls and boys. I think there's probably less of a drop-off in the girls to the boys. We'll kind of see what to expect from Kentucky today. Some talent of this Indiana team, but probably not the depth of talent we saw a season ago.
I'd agree, and we've had a great run these past few years of just great depth and talent from Indiana. This is a group that's still emerging. I call them that.
Well, obviously Lola Lampley will get your attention as far as one of the top players. Her teammate Anaya McKenzie will play in the game on Wednesday. She did not make the core 6, but Lola did. Maya Epps of Homestead, clearly of that group, who's going to go play at the University of Louisville. Kiki Holman from Hamilton Southeastern. Again, those are some of the key players for head coach Lenny Krebs and Indiana, who's assisted by Amy Shearer in today's game. As you see, the players are lining up to face the flag for our national anthem. We will step aside. We'll come back and introduce you to the teams, and we come back to Charlestown as you're watching this Indiana-Kentucky Junior All-Star Game on the ISC Sports Network.
The MSD of Lawrence Township embodies educational excellence, unlocking the full potential of every student we serve. Where innovation meets tradition, our students excel in welcoming safe, state-of-the-art facilities. A traditional public school district, Lawrence Township boasts a 95% graduation rate. On the court and in the arts, our students excel. Join the Lawrence Township family, where learners thrive, surrounded by values that resonate with home. Lawrence Township, your destination for a brighter future.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
For the first time ever, Hamilton Southeastern Schools is opening its doors
to students residing outside the district.
If you are looking for an award-winning school system
that offers top-tier academics, innovative programs, and endless opportunities,
now is your chance to join us. With more than 21,000 students, HSC is where learning comes to life.
Apply today and become part of a district that's shaping the future. Because at HSC, excellence starts here.
Again, this great facility at Charlestown, the home of the Pirates, the home of our opening doubleheader of 4 on the ISC Sports Network. Tomorrow we'll be at Fishers for the Futures games. Wednesday will be at Greenfield Central for the Indiana Juniors versus the Indiana Seniors. And then on Saturday night, we'll be at what is, well, the epicenter of the basketball world right now. Gamebridge Fieldhouse will have at least 2 games, maybe 3, of the NBA Finals. In less than 2 months, they'll have the WNBA All-Star Game. And in 6 days, they'll have Indiana versus Kentucky. And our cameras will be there here on the ISC Sports Network. Rosters being introduced for the state of Kentucky. Addison Brissy, Atalia Green, Emma Holzapfel, Ashlyn James, who is verbal to play at Indiana University. She is a 5'8" player from Assumption High School in Louisville. Isabella Jayasurya, Jalen Jones, Jaden Cook, Sawyer Lowe, Abby Reitzel, Keziah Renee, Destiny Scott, Haley Webb, Brianna Wilkins, Ty Yeast, and Madison Young for Team Kentucky. They are the players that are being introduced as we speak. We'll get to the Indiana Juniors in a matter of moments. Again, the way that Indiana selects their teams, there is a core 6 that plays in both games. There is a kind of southern half of the state 6 that plays in this game. That's all they'll play for the week. There is a northern group 6 that will play in just the game at Greenfield Central, the Wednesday game against Indiana. So what this does for the coaches is gives them a chance, Pete, to look at 18 players. And if you play in this game, are you guaranteed to be considered for the Indiana All-Stars next year? No, but it certainly means you're on the radar with 1 year left to go.
Right. You've got the great opportunity to be seen in these games, to see against quality competition how you play, to see how you get coached. And I'll tell you, being the past Indiana All-Star director, we notice that. How coachable are you in an All-Star game?
And if you wonder, hey, wait a minute, Kentucky's wearing white, Indiana's wearing blue. Why is that the case? These uniforms are designed to be the opposite of the senior All-Stars. So for when they play their senior counterparts, it's easy to distinguish the two apart. So yeah, the color schemes are kind of the opposite of what you're used to seeing for the Indiana seniors. Now, for Team Indiana, Ava Wheeler, who led Bourne to the 1A championship, she is designated to be here, but unfortunately she is injured. So you won't see her. Berkeley Williams of Plainfield, part of that really good team that Coach Benj has had at Plainfield over the last couple of years that will continue to be good for the next couple of years as well. Kiki Holman of Hamilton Southeastern, Maya Epps of Homestead, Brooklyn Wren of Silver Creek. All the Wrens can seemingly hoop, as we have seen now for a couple of different generations, whether it's Matt, whether it's Trey, and Brooklyn part of that group as well. Molly Ernstus of Jennings County, the aforementioned Lola Lampley of Lawrence Central, Jocelyn Bricker, part of last year's state runners-up at Warsaw. Kamari Booker's had a couple of really good years for Pike. Lillian Barnes of Valparaiso, Grayson Gilliard of Center Grove, and a player who is already the all-time leading scorer at Evansville Central with a year left to play, Maddie Shirley. And she, like Maya Epps, has already said, listen, I know where I'm playing in 2 years. She's going to stay at home. She's going to play at the University of Southern Indiana for Rick Stein.
I think that's really cool. She's going to stay home. Yeah, this team only has 2 players that have committed so far, in Epps to Louisville and Shirley, as you mentioned, to Southern Indiana.
Our officials, by the way, for today's contest, Corbin Cruella, Aaron Goodpaster, and Justin Jackson will be our 3-man officiating crew. Pete, what do you expect? I'm not asking for a prediction, just kind of what I took to see in an all-star game where really, again, everybody kind of knows everybody from an AAU standpoint, but still there's not exactly a lot of practice time you have for something like this. What do you expect to see this afternoon?
Well, a lot of mistakes, quite frankly, a lot of turnovers. As long as they share the ball, you can understand as a coach. What you do as a coach in these all-star games, you kind of play the first half and figure out which players you feel the most comfortable with, who's playing well as a unit, and then you like to that last 5 to 10 minutes of the game to have who you think the best 5 are out there to finish it off.
Bricker of Warsaw, Lola Lampley of Lawrence Central, Kiki Holman of Hamilton Southeastern, Brooklyn Wren of Silver Creek. Looks like Lillian Barnes of Valpo will be the starting 5 again. You would expect most of the core kids are going to play twice. We'll get the starting nod in this game. For Kentucky, Jalen Jones of Ryle, which is northern Kentucky, out there. Natalia Green of Henderson County, which is down by the Evansville area. Madison Young of South Oldham, east side of Louisville. Get the other ones on the fly to you. Destiny Scott, part of that starting 5. Jaden Cook as well. In Indiana in blue, Kentucky in white. Playing 4 10-minute quarters, so college rules in this game. Ran on the drive, and she is very familiar with playing in this building. This is a conference foe, Silver Creek and Charlestown. They're frankly neighboring school districts in the same league. Ball out of bounds goes to Kentucky.
20 seconds off the clock, that first possession, 2 girls touched it. So that's what you see in an all-star game. You don't see a lot of fluid play at the start because they just don't know what the other players are going to do. They don't have a set offense. Very little preparation time for that.
Jump shot partially blocked. Again, in buildings where we have a shot clock, we'll play it. That's not the case today. So again, it's kind of a combination of rules in terms of high school and college. Good 5-out spaced offense. Wren not shy and goes and gets it. You're going to miss it, you better go get it. Brooklyn Wren of Silver Creek, she and Emma Shane, a dynamic 1-2 punch for Silver Creek, playing for Scott Shane at Silver Creek. Brooklyn at 6'3", 16 points a game for a very good Dragons team this year.
Yeah, so versatile with their height.
Good hands. And on the steal, the scoop and score. Lillian Barnes gets the bucket on the Kentucky turnover.
Valparaiso Viking.
These are all players because of their skill, you expect them to be amongst the best teams in the state a year from now. Of course, Lawrence Central and Lawrence North have won the last 2 championships. We'll see more LN and LC players in the game coming up on Wednesday as that shot does not go. Taking a miss by Madison Young from South Oldham. She averaged 18 points a game for South Oldham this year. Lampley on the drive, looked for contact, never got it. And the rebound corralled by Kentucky. And eventually, Kentucky out of there with it. Last year, Indiana won 111-76 in this game. That was played not too far from here at the Pressure Cooker in Scottsburg at the Meyer Gymnasium. Another member of that logo you see at the middle of the court, the Mid-Southern Conference. On the drive, the step through and score. That bucket is by Jocelyn Bricker, part of that group that had 3 1,000-point scorers at Warsaw in their careers. Finished runners-up to LN back in February.
And this junior girls all-star team being coached by Lenny Krebs, the head coach of Warsaw. They should be loaded next year. One of our participants in the Girls Hall of Fame Classic.
I know you are always partial to Warsaw Tigers. You should be partial to Lenny. Really enjoy getting to know him for the Girls State Finals.
Went a long time without tournament success, and then really hit it big last year.
Madison Young gets the opening Kentucky basket. Space the floor, drive and dish. Holman missed. She and Kayla Stidham return after Maya Makaleski moves on to Indiana University. Lampley going to be called for the foul, and we'll see 2 free throws coming up for Team Kentucky.
Yeah, she swatted down on the shot attempt there. Corbin Korea on the call here. We take a look at it. Watch her come down, hits the arm, and she'll shoot a pair.
So with 2 free throws coming up while you're in southeastern Indiana, go up State Road 62, work your way to Milan, and go check out the Milan 54 Museum. It houses artifacts and memorabilia of the Milan Muncie Central 1954 championship game and the largest single collection of items from the movie Hoosiers. The museum is open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 until 4. For more information, milan54.org. It's at 201 West Carr Street in downtown Milan. Both free throws connected upon by Kentucky, then a jump shot is an air ball.
So far, just not a lot of fluid offense, just a lot of one-on-one, which again is typical because the girls aren't used to playing with each other unless you have a teammate on this team, which we'll see during the game here.
Yeah, the only set of teammates that we will see are for Kentucky in this game.
2 girls from Callaway County.
Cook and Lowe. By the way, I like the old school NBA organ that Charlestown has worked in.
Isn't that cool? Here. Reminds me of the Knowlesville Millers of their great girls teams in the late 80s. Had an organist playing. Coach Ferris used to be the organist.
Holman with the jump shot.
And a nice pass to get her open. I won't say a moving ball screen, but a shuffle screen, I call it. Almost moving.
A legal moving screen?
Illegal, yeah. Ooh, and that's not illegal.
Well, it was touched by Holman, but then it was last touched by the Kentucky player. So a tie of the green will be whistled for the turnover. Here comes the line changes. Well, Maya Epps for Indiana again. University of Louisville bound. Part of a Homestead team that may very well be the favorite in 4 this year because they bring back everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, they sure do. Maya just being one of their great players.
Catch and shoot three. Molly Ernstus, they have had a line of really good players at Jennings County. She's the next one.
She sure is.
She was part as a sophomore of their really good team that just couldn't get by BNL last year in the sectional. Steal for Indiana. Catch and shoot three. That one does not go. That's Grayson Gilliard of Center Grove that could not get it to fall. By the way, Kamari Booker of Pike also in the game. Indiana picking up full court pressure. Again, this is not like most all-star games. You'll see teams press in these games.
Well, you've got 12 players allotted to you, so typically, unless you have injury, so you may as well play them hard and play them. There's that catch and shoot there, as you mentioned there, by Ernst.
Ernst is 22 points per game. Only Maddie Shirley in terms of a per-game score, more than what Molly averaged last year playing for Jennings County. And again, Jennings County now in 3A. Foul going to be called against Berkeley Williams. In other words, don't be surprised if Jennings County, because they play still a largely 4A schedule,
right,
if they make a very deep run in the 3A tournament next year.
Yeah, they have a great potential to do it.
We'll get to the Kentucky players as we go. The blow by, that's certainly a player that merits a mention. That is Lowe. And a timeout going to be called by Team Indiana. Let's take it with them. 5:27 left to play in the opening quarter. Indiana leads by 5 on the ISC Sports Network.
More selection, more savings, more for your trade. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know for all your transportation needs. 9 locations, serving Indianapolis, Fishers, Anderson, and Noblesville. 12 brands offering the best cars, trucks, and SUVs. At Ed Martin, you'll drive home happy in under an hour, guaranteed. Shop over 4,000 new and used vehicles at edmartin.com. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know.
Thank you, Sean Walker, Adam Clendenning, Elijah Mash, our crew behind the scenes. And alongside Pete Smith, Greg Rakestraw with you. And if Indiana's going to press, Kentucky's going to press too. Not your typical all-star game. It's Indiana and Kentucky. Little run and jump trap here by Kentucky.
Nice.
Booker fires a long 2. Weak side glass for Gilliard. Ernstus fires and scores. Someone's been working on their jump shot during the offseason.
2 for 2 from behind the line.
Not that it was poor beforehand, but clearly she's in mid-season form. So Molly's got a pair of 3-point field goals. Only one's hit in the game so far. 1-4 high set here for Kentucky. Good take to the bucket. Basket is made by Brianna Wilkins from Sacred Heart in Louisville.
More NBA and WNBA typish drive there. Just pounded the ball inside.
Trailer 3 by Epps. And again, Homestead averaged over 40% from 3 as a team this year. Booker applying the pressure. And Pike's a team that will guard you 84 feet when you play the Red Devils. Good hands by Williams and does force the turnover. And that's 4 so far against Kentucky.
Yeah, Berkeley had her fronted very well as she cut to the block. I think Epps may have got a piece of the pass there also on the entry feed. High post screen here.
Ball knocked away by Kentucky. Michael Robertson, by the way, is the head coach for Kentucky from Owensboro Catholic High School. Scott Chalk is the games director for Kentucky. Games on Friday night at Lexington Catholic. We will not have those for you on ISC. We have all the ones here from Indiana. Up and under by Epps. Score it. Great balance so far for Team Indiana. 6 different players, Pete, have scored.
Yeah, that's nice. You'd like to see that in an all-star game. I mean, you've got your stars, but they're all stars at their schools. So they have to learn to share the ball maybe a little bit more, move the ball, hit the open shot. There's 3 ways we used to say it. You can you can take a good shot, a better shot, and the best shot. And the best shot is when you have probably moved it 2 times and gotten a wide open jumper rather than a semi-contested jumper, and much better than a contested jumper.
Catch and shoot off the inbounds pass. And good job by Ernstus to get a hand on the face of the shooter. Gilliard runs the floor. Tries to find a teammate, but Indiana gives it away for the first time.
Pretty good in an all-star game just to have 1 turnover so far, Greg.
on the drive, and again, Epps.
Aggressive. She is really aggressive.
Booker, back fouled, and Kamari Booker will shoot 2.
Yeah, you mentioned how her last 2 seasons at Pike, she's just gotten better and better. Averaged 10.5 a game, and this year I really see her coming out even more as a scorer for the Red Devils.
Well, Kamari Booker goes to the line. Let's thank our friends at the Ed Martin Automotive Group, who want to congratulate Lola Lampley of Lawrence Central for being a part of today's Indiana-Kentucky Junior All-Star Game. When it comes to your next car, Ed Martin is the only name you need to know. Find out more at edmartin.com. So Booker connects from the line. Again, Booker's stats in terms of her points per game at 10.5 points per contest may not impress you, but think about the path that Pike took it out of that sectional. Just ridiculously talented 5-team group this year, and they won it in dramatic fashion over at Ben Davis. Booker makes them both. Pull up from the elbow. Just grazes the iron, and Epps the rebound.
Indiana's individual defense has been great so far. All the shots have been contested. Nothing easy.
Epps. I think that's a Euro step involved there somewhere. Fancy footwork by Maya, her second field goal, and been a dominant effort for Indiana so far. Trying another version of that for Kentucky was Ashlyn James.
Yeah, excuse me, Greg. Nothing easy there. Great defense, but Epps, big Euro step. Completely legal. Back in the old days when I played, and probably when you played, that may have been called a travel.
I didn't even have the footwork or speed of brain to even attempt to make that move, Pete.
I played that move, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, full court pressure. Once they get the ball in bounds, boy, and you got Lampley, who's 6'2", that can bring it up. That really makes things a lot easier on the other guards.
Lampley rotates back in. Maddie Shirley back in there as well. Kind of a mix of players currently on the floor for Indiana. Lillian Barnes back in the game too.
Okay, good no switch there. Showed and then recovered, helping recovered there. There's no spacing for Kentucky. They're in a horn set kind of with the 2 high post players at the elbows, but one pops out and that really breaks down the whole offense.
Great length for Indiana as evidenced by Lampley. Her on-ball defense. Runner is up and good, though. Good take. That is Ty Yeast from George Rogers Clark that gets the basket.
Yeah, I thought Lillian Barnes could have took a charge there, but went for the block shot instead.
Bricker on the bounce, in the lane, score it. Her second field goal.
Well, you put her and Zartman together next year for that Warsaw team, they'll be tough.
And they lose one player to Ball State off of that group in Winchester. It's still a very talented team. We'll see Warsaw on the ISC Sports Network with the Girls Hall of Fame Classic on December the 22nd.
A little earlier in the past.
Just the way the dates fell.
Yeah.
Shot up and missed. I'll apologize now. I won't be there for the championship games for the girls. A little Colts Monday Night Football gets in the way that night. Shot by Epps does not go.
Nice block out.
I was going to say.
Oh, they still couldn't come up. It's just been a tough first quarter here for Kentucky. That was a great block out, but the Indiana player was able to get their hand in there. I think it was Bricker got her hand in there.
And of all the players in the low block you want to guard, Lampley might be that player, though she didn't get that to go. Of course, LC knocked off by LN in the sectional final this past year. Nice pull up by Ashlyn James. Well, 6 of her Kentucky players all have 2 points. 5 field goals made so far. Kentucky trying to hang around here early. Impressive start. Lampley fires, no. Put back, yes, by Maddie Shirley.
Boy, gathered herself really nice. Didn't force it. Squared up to the basket. Didn't take just a half hook. Got a good shot up there.
Evansville Central made the semi-state round in 3. They're one of the many schools that dropped from 4A to 3A last year. Catch and shoot 3 is good. Splashed home by Abby Reitzel. Abby from Mercy High School in Louisville.
Averaged 15 a game last year. There's a 3-point play opportunity by Maya Epps.
Epps joins Ernstus in the scoring column with 6. Epps have a chance to make it 7. Maya 15 points a game again. She plays for other teams, that number would go up. That's how offensively balanced Homestead was.
Got Delaney Knoll and you got Ben McLaughlin's daughter, not Carissa, but the other daughter playing for Homestead that are all three just getting Division I offers. And obviously Epps made the choice already to go to Louisville. Not too far from Charleston.
Pete, this is a Pacers-like number, 27 points in 9 minutes for Team Indiana. Loose ball picked up by Kentucky. The three leaves a crack in the backboard. Lampley the rebound. That was Pacers-esque too, like Toppin or Siakam running the floor.
Right, they're getting the outlet going really well. Kentucky a little slow on defense getting back. You know, the first couple minutes were kind of shaky as each team kind of felt themselves out per se as to what they can and can't do, but the group that's come in second for Indiana, the second group off the bench, I should say, first group off the bench, has really clicked well.
And that will lead us to our quarter break. All Indiana so far. They lead at 27-15 from Charlestown High School. It is the Indiana-Kentucky Junior All-Star Game. Back in a moment as you're watching on ISC.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
The MSD of Lawrence Township embodies educational excellence, unlocking the full potential of every student we serve. Where innovation meets tradition, our students excel in welcoming safe, state-of-the-art facilities. A traditional public school district, Lawrence Township boasts a 95% graduation rate. On the court and in the arts, our students excel. Join the Lawrence Township family, where learners thrive, surrounded by values that resonate with home. Lawrence Township, your destination for a brighter future.
Unranked Hoops is partnered with Indy Heat Gym Rats, Indiana's only Nike EYBL AAU basketball program. Unranked Hoops is dedicated to building a better way to do youth basketball through a series of skill development programs in Indy's first Euro-style basketball academy that starts this fall. Check out unrnkd.com for more information and sign up for our email lists. Greg Rakestraw, Pete Smith with you here on ISC. Outstanding start for Indiana, and it continues here. And that foul was given by Jaden Cook. Or if not, that's an easy bucket for Indiana. I don't think Kentucky has played poorly. I don't think Indiana has played that well.
Indiana's defense has been really, really well. Turned into a lot of transition points. And they've taken better shots the last 5 minutes of that first quarter. They got open shots or they got to the rim. Good choice there. I thought she was going to jack that up for a second.
Kamari Booker back in for Indiana, replacing Lola Lampley. Nice pass. Booker does the same. Ernstus can't cash in.
Good possession, though, by Indiana. A lot of touches there.
Again, for a group that maybe doesn't know each other that well, they're sharing the basketball very solidly. Tough shot.
Got a piece.
And again, Ernstus at 6 foot. She's tough to shoot over. Tries the dish and does so and finds Booker. Well, Julianne Woodard, a couple of years ago at Jennings County, I thought was as good as any player in the state. Ernstus is playing in a similar fashion here today.
Yeah, that was a great pass by Ernstus. You ever been to North Vernon?
I have been to North Vernon. I have never done a Jennings County game at Jennings County.
I have never been to the high school, but I've been to North Vernon. Nice little nook down there in southeast Indiana, southern Indiana. And I've coached against them before, but only in a holiday tournament.
Booker goes 1 of 2 from the line. All of her points have come from the line so far. 13-point lead for Indiana. The scoop, no. Put back, foul.
Well, yeah, she got put in a tough position. Barnes got switched up on the drive across, so offensive rebound opportunity was great there for Destiny Scott from North Hardin.
Couple of free throws for Destiny Scott so far at Kentucky. 2 of 2 from the line in this game and connects on their first one. Want to thank our friends at Lawrence Township Schools. Voted Indy's best public schools. Metropolitan School District of Lawrence Township is the district of destination where excellence empowers everyone to reach their full potential. Through innovation and dedication, we educate all students on their education pathways to graduation, college, or career. Learn more about LT Schools at ltschools.org. And congratulations to Lola Lampley of Lawrence Central for playing in today's game. Berkeley Williams fires a 3. That does not go.
Wow. Missed the bunny there.
Foul going to be called.
Well, you just got to be frustrated, though, as you can tell by Kentucky. I mean, they get a defensive rebound, and right away, 2 Indiana players swarm on the ball and make a steal. They can't convert on the turnover, but now they'll take the pressure off and play half-court defense.
Turnover forced.
Tough pass. When you got to throw it over the 6'3" Brooklyn Wren. That's a really tough pass to make.
Well, there is such length in this Indiana team. 6'3" Wren, 6 foot Ernstus, 6'2" Lampley, 6 foot Booker, 6'1" Shirley, and another made 3 by Ernstus.
3 of 3. Don't believe she's missed from behind the line yet. She made a line shift and was out early.
Shot blocked.
Barnes.
Barnes at 22 points a game, 3rd best in terms of this group in returning scores. And again, last year's senior class was so talented. You had really 4 or 5 legitimate Miss Basketball candidates in that group, one by McAlusty. Shot does not go, but the elbow put back and a foul going to be called. I think they're saying Wren got her on the arm.
She did. Scott's going to go back to the line for a pair there on the offensive, the long rebound offensive putback opportunity.
2 free throws coming up again for Destiny Scott. Let's thank our buddy Brady Laurie and Laurie Law. Brady's been serving the citizens of Marion, Johnson, and Hamilton counties for over 25 years. If you or someone you know is in criminal trouble or has been injured, make the call to Brady for a consultation. Let Brady put his negotiating skills and court experience to work for you. Call 317-250-7783 or email bradyjlaurie@gmail.com.
Kentucky 6 of 6 at the line. That's a bright spot for him right now as Geese makes her pair.
Again, I'm sure they'd like to take better care of the basketball.
Yeah.
I don't think it's about what Kentucky is doing poorly. I think Indiana's been very impressive.
I'm really impressed with their just individual straight line defense. They've not been beat very often, which means they're moving their feet, trying to keep one step ahead of the ball as they have that driving lane to the basket.
So here's Barnes. The boys' game will follow this one. And Barnes connects.
Indiana on their own right, 6 of 7 at the line. Only one missed free throw between the two teams out of 25 attempts.
Great hands by Barnes.
Okay, no switch there. Fighting through all screens, help. Okay, there's a switch for the first time. Good communication.
The step back 3, no, and Barnes, the hustle points. It immediately leads to a break. Great
left-handed pass. Outstanding.
Wren, her second bucket. Catch and shoot at the other end is good. Basket good by Destiny Scott, her 6. Paces Kentucky. You know, the track and field state finals are next weekend. This has been a track meet the last few times up and down the floor.
It'll be fun to play in because each team now are just finding opportunities to get to the rim.
You'll take that look every time down. It'll remain Indiana basketball, but that was a great move by Wren, just didn't go.
Yeah, Indiana's size overall, just a couple inches at each spot, each position on the floor you can see. And the ball is going to go off of, the ball did go off Kentucky, didn't it? It's going to stay Indiana ball. That's right, she threw it out of bounds on the line.
So Jocelyn Bricker returns. Maya Epps, Maddie Shirley, Lola Lampley, Kiki Holman. Catch and shoot by Shirley. And when you average 26 a game and you're your school's leading scorer of the year left to go, a 14-foot open jump shot is a layup.
Good switch on defense. Yeah, Indiana's really talking. Well, I don't know if you can hear it in the background here, but they stay when they can. There's a called switch there by Epps. Maya called the switch there. Good. Great defense by Indiana. I know it keeps sounding like a broken record, but that's why Kentucky's not getting very many good looks.
3 does not go, but the weak side glass is there for Kentucky. This is Addison Brissy. Now on the pass, left side, score it. Holzoffel gets the triple. She plays at Notre Dame Academy, which is in northern Kentucky in the Cincinnati area. And if you want to illustrate one of the differences between Indiana and Kentucky, almost all the Catholic schools are non-coeducational in Kentucky. They are in Indiana. Putback is there for Maddie Shirley.
Yeah, good job by Epps. She drew 2 defenders, so the weak side offensive rebound opportunity was there. Shirley took advantage of it.
15-point lead for Indiana. Runner is good. Rissy from Cooper High School averaged 10 points a game this past year. So far for Kentucky, 10 different players have scored. Lampley gets fouled, and see if that'll be on the drive or underneath out of bounds coming up for Team Indiana. I think they'll say it's going to be an inbounds play here.
It will be.
9 for Ernstis, leads all scores. On the take. Good look, just simply would not fall, but quick hands. And that is good. That's Jocelyn Bricker, her 3rd field goal.
Really like how Indiana's playing. They're taking advantage of straight line drives when they have them. When they aren't, they're passing the ball pretty well. Good bucket there by Brianna Wilkins.
Wilkins' 2nd field goal. Epps the trailer 3. That does not go, but Shirley just around the ball. Or maybe force that one, but it all works out in the wash as Epps puts it up and in.
You know, you would think Epps is a really big scorer as a steal, but she's always around the basketball, as you can tell. She's always around the ball, so she gets a lot of cheap ones there. Holman with a good steal there, can't convert.
If you have an ACC school that in this era is wanting to commit to you as a junior, kind of a sign. And again, obviously U of L, that is a top 10, top 15 program in the nation at this point every year.
Yeah, her shooting, doing some prep last year when I had her in the Hall of Fame golf or Hall of Fame basketball tournament. Shooting needs to come on a little bit stronger, but boy, her playmaking and quickness and just basketball savvy and headiness is really good.
Pull up 3 on the break does not go. Lampley missed at the other end. That was Keziah Renee from Butler High School in Louisville who missed that shot.
Coach Krebs going to get another sub in. He's assisted by Amy Shearer, the outstanding coach at Columbia City, who's got a pretty good player on the senior team this year, Addie Baxter.
He'll be the point guard of the future at Butler University. And again, she was one of those Miss Basketball candidates this season.
In another year, probably would have been a Miss Basketball.
There's 4 or 5 players.
Right.
I mean, again, that's how good the top end of that senior class was. And frankly, down to about spot 19 or 20, there was a legitimate debate as to whom should have been an Indiana All-Star. This was as deep of a group as this state has seen in a long time. Shot does not go. Rebound control by Indiana. Epps, like the idea, love the idea.
Oh, she got fouled. Wow.
And the referee agrees with you. So 3 free throws coming up for Kiki Holman.
You may be able to hear it on the broadcast. Holman plays for Brian Satterfield at Hamilton Southeastern High School. Former boys coach. I coached a lot of games against Brian and in the day, per se.
Today's game presented in part by Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. You're good at lots of things like cheering your team on to victory. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance agent Nathan Begley is good at your insurance. And Nathan is here to help you think through any question you have about your auto, home, renters, business, or life insurance. Talk to Nathan in person, online, over the phone at 317-507-7871. Stop by his office, which is next to Nothing Bundt Cakes on U.S. Highway 36 in Avon. Congratulations, Berkeley Williams of Plainfield, representing the Quakers in today's game.
10 of 11 now at the line for the Indiana squad. Shooting it really, really well.
18-point lead for Indiana. Kentucky fans will be saying, didn't you say that this year's group may not be as good as last year's group? Well, they have been today. And again, I think there's a bigger difference on the boys' side from this year's seniors to this year's juniors.
Well, yeah, and tell you, their defense has been great. Here's a stat, thanks to Chad Gilbert, who's sending me stats. Indiana has 9 points off turnovers. That's at the end of the first quarter. Kentucky didn't score any off Indiana turnovers. They only had 1 turnover, as you and I can recall.
And on cue, Ernstis with the rare miss from 3 after another Kentucky turnover. This is Haley Webb into the front court. And a reach-in foul going to be called against Gilliard.
Haven't called Grayson's name much, but plays for Coach Kevin Stuckmeyer at Center Grove. Former Plymouth Pilgrim player and Grace College Lancers player.
2 free throws coming up. Let's thank our friends at Hamilton Southeastern Schools. For the first time, Hamilton Southeastern Schools are opening their doors to students from outside of the district. At Hamilton Southeastern, excellent starts here. Learn more by going to HSE Schools/enrollment at Hamilton Southeastern. Wishes good luck to Kiki Holman, representing the Royals in today's game.
Webb hit both free throws.
Speaking of Miss Holman, couldn't get that to go. It'll be a foul going in the other direction.
Now, Kentucky's had a couple good blockouts. There's an example of being rewarded for one. A foul called. Climbing the back on the free throw. Made contact enough. Again, I always get a kick, Greg. Over the back is not a foul. The typical fan thinks, oh, he or she's over the back. Well, if there's not contact, if they just jump over without making too much contact, it's not a foul. That case, a great blockout was rewarded by Ashlyn James, and she shoots a pair. Going to Indiana University.
Recruited by Terry Morin.
Missed the second first free throw. 9 out of 10 now, Kentucky from the line. First free throw they've missed. Good dash.
Nice feed. Booker. Give the assist to Kiki Holman.
Yeah, Kiki really dribbled well with her head up and saw the open player on the block.
First field goal for Kamari. She's got 5.
Ooh, deep one.
Does not go, and the uncontested rebound for Brooklyn Wren. Green was taken by Isabella Jayasaria from Campbell County. Wren, no. Ball tipped out of bounds, touched last by Holman. Well, if you're Lenny Krebs, you're obviously very happy what you're seeing, and let's face it, a halftime message is different in an all-star game than in a regular season or postseason game, but well, I'm Indiana. I'm feeling pretty good about what I've seen in 20 minutes.
Right, and at the same time, you got to remember, oh, nice drive and take there.
That was James, the bucket. She's got 5.
I wonder if she's going to IU. Good drive and take. That was a major big-time drive.
Good find. Spot up 3 by Gilliard. Got it.
There we got Grayson's name. Averaging 18.3 on the season for the Trojans.
9 of 11 have scored so far for Indiana. Only Williams and Lampley have yet to dot the scoring column. Indiana on pace to put up triple digits. The pull is not there. Final minute of the half. Runner does not go. Shot taken and missed by Abby Reitzel.
When they've had open shots, they haven't made too many of them. 33 points isn't a bad half, though, Greg, but 51 now, 51 is a lot to give up, and it's because Indiana has killed them on fast break points, just really pounded them on opportunities to drive to the basket, penetration and kicks. Kentucky's going to go back to the line now for a pair of free throws here.
This trip to the line brought to us by our friends at Unranked Hoops. Unranked Hoops is partnering with Indy Heat Gym Rats, Indiana's only Nike EYBL AAU basketball program. Unranked Hoops is dedicated to building a better way to do youth basketball through a series of skill development programs and Indy's first Euro-style basketball academy that starts this fall. Inside the walls, newly renovated Unranked Hoops factory in Indianapolis, Unranked provides opportunities for long-term development and success. Go to unrnkd.com.
Jayasuri hits 1 of 2.
Caller. Ernstus gets her 4th made 3. Her dozen leads all scorers. She's the only player in double figures. That shot does not go. Gilliard will push the tempo and draw the foul.
Did a good job. If players can get under that defender's elbow, you know, the armpit and the elbow, usually you can draw that foul, particularly at the high school level.
It's a Center Grove team that got knocked out of the tournament by Franklin Central on the first night.
Boy, they had a nice tournament run, didn't they, FC?
Led by Matthew Graves' daughter, Lily. Just missed the cut of the Indiana All-Stars, but will play at the University of Southern Indiana.
Really impressed with the girls hitting free throws. A lot of times in all-star games, free throws can be, oh, that's a deep one. That's a Caitlin Clark went out of bounds. I mean, not when Caitlin Clark shoots it, but that was a logo. I don't know if she thought.
I think in women's basketball, we can call that a Clark 3. I think that's perfectly legitimate. Clock is on your screen. Holman in time. And it would have been fitting if that didn't went in. It's everything else nearly did for Indiana. Indiana put together another worldly performance. The Indiana seniors might be getting nervous watching what the Indiana juniors just did. At the break, it is Indiana 56, Kentucky 34. Halftime comes next from Charlestown as you're watching the Indiana-Kentucky Junior All-Star Game on the ISC Sports Network.
Okay, he's going to say.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Looking for a school district that
Challenges, supports, inspires.
Hamilton Southeastern Schools is now accepting non-resident transfer students.
Giving families living outside our boundaries the opportunity to be a part of one of Indiana's top school districts.
With state-leading academics, unique hands-on programming, and a vibrant school community,
there's a place for every student to grow and succeed.
Apply now!
And take the next step toward a bright future.
More selection, more savings, more for your trade. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know for all your transportation needs. 9 locations, serving Indianapolis, Fishers, Anderson, and Noblesville. 12 brands offering the best cars, trucks, and SUVs. At Ed Martin, you'll drive home happy in under an hour, guaranteed. Shop over 4,000 new and used vehicles at edmartin.com. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know.
Back at Charlestown, and again, thank you so much to our buddy Chad Gilbert, the athletic director, part of the IHSA Executive Committee, for agreeing to host this again. As we said earlier, this has kind of become the Southern Indiana game of the series. Do that to make it an easier drive for Kentucky, so we've rotated between Bedford, Jeffersonville, Scottsburg, and as you can tell, this building, which has hosted sectionals in some years, is a girls' regional site every year. This is a palace the folks at Greater Clark Schools have put together. Alongside Pete Smith, Greg Rakestraw with you. To be honest with you, Pete, this is as good, and we're all given the hyperbole when we put these headsets on, but in terms of an all-star performance, this is as good of as I've seen a team play in 20 minutes.
You know, after the first 2 minutes, it's been very, very good. A lot of unselfish play, good defense, really good defense by Indiana, scoring a lot off turnovers, and got to be impressed with them. Now, that senior team that they're going to play that we're going to see later on this week, that's going to be a challenge because of their size. But Indiana's size in this junior game against Kentucky has really made a big difference.
Indiana has shared the ball exceedingly well. They have taken care of the basketball, minimal turnovers for Team Indiana. And how about Molly Ernsters with 4 made threes?
Yeah, she's and all of them. The last one was the old-fashioned backspin, catch the rim, go in. As a coach, you love that because she's been taught the proper form.
Maya Epps with 9 points, 6 points as well for Maddie Shirley. Again, very balanced attack. 9 of 11 players have scored for Indiana. 10 of 13 players have scored for Kentucky. Balance there, too, just not as many numbers. Destiny Scott leads the way with 6 points in the first half for Kentucky. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back and look at our first half highlights, preview the boys' game. Comes your way next as well. And at the break, the scoreboard tells you the story. Indiana leads it by 22. From Charlestown, you're watching on the ISC Sports Network.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
The MSD of Lawrence Township embodies educational excellence, unlocking the full potential of every student we serve. Where innovation meets tradition, our students excel in welcoming safe, state-of-the-art facilities. A traditional public school district, Lawrence Township boasts a 95% graduation rate. On the court and in the arts, our students excel. Join the Lawrence Township family, where learners thrive, surrounded by values that resonate with home. Lawrence Township, your destination for a brighter future.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
For the first time ever, Hamilton Southeastern Schools is opening its doors
to students residing outside the district.
If you are looking for an award-winning school system
that offers top-tier academics, innovative programs, and endless opportunities,
now is your chance to join us. With more than 21,000 students, HSC is where learning comes to life.
Apply today and become part of a district that's shaping the future. Because at HSC, excellence starts here.
Straight to highlights. As we do that, let's go over scoring for Team Indiana. Holman 5, Epps 9, Wren 4, Ernstas 12, Bricker 6, Booker 5, Barnes 4, Gilliard 5, and Shirley 6. For Kentucky, Rissy 2, Holzoppel 3, James 5, Jaya Soria 1, Jones 2, Lowe 2, Reitzel 3, Scott 6, Wilkins 4, Yeast 2, and Young 2. Pete, you've got other numbers in terms of the team stats in front of you. What jumps off the page on those to you?
Well, Kentucky has the advantage on the boards, 29-26. Now, they have had a few of those opportunities offensively because they've missed a lot of shots. They're only shooting 30.6% after the first half. But they do have 10 turnovers compared to 1 for Indiana the entire first half, and they're 10 or 12 at the free throw line.
Here, again, that 1 turnover number, and
yeah.
You and I do better than most in terms of kind of keeping our own stats during the course of a game. We have, thankfully, the good folks with Indiana are keeping track of stats. They kind of give us a quarter-by-quarter or half-by-half update. But I had 1 turnover, and I kept thinking, is that accurate? Yes, it is. Again, in an all-star game, Pete, that doesn't happen.
Right, and you know, credit Indiana for good ball handling, good decision making, not to gamble or throw any passes that are a little risky, and they're just letting the game come to them. They're only shooting 41.7% from the field, but they're getting really good shots and much better shooting than Kentucky. They played a great defensive half.
The horn going for 3 minutes. We'll have to talk for a little bit more and then get you a final break before third quarter action gets underway. Again, this is the first game. The boys' game will follow. Pete, your expectations for what you want to see from the boys junior team coming up here in about an hour or so?
You know, all-star games are different. Kentucky's got 2 kids 6'10" or taller. From that standpoint, a couple 6'7", 6'8" boys. This is not a tall Indiana team. So they're going to have to use their quickness and really block out on defense, defensive rebounding. Should be an interesting game, though. Again, I'm not in this junior class from Indiana is a good, solid class. Losing Stevie Reynolds really hurt. Stephen Reynolds hurt his dad, Stevie. I call him Stevie because of that. But that hurts the Indiana ability or talent. But overall, I think the ball may move even a little bit better.
Again, that is the boys' game that will follow this one. So far, so good for the Indiana girls. They lead 56-34. Third quarter action from Charlestown comes your way next. You're watching on the ISC Sports Network.
More selection, more savings, more for your trade. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know for all your transportation needs. 9 locations, serving Indianapolis, Fishers, Anderson, and Noblesville. 12 brands offering the best cars, trucks, and SUVs. At Ed Martin, you'll drive home happy in under an hour, guaranteed. Shop over 4,000 new and used vehicles at edmartin.com. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
The MSD of Lawrence Township embodies educational excellence, unlocking the full potential of every student we serve. Where innovation meets tradition, our students excel in welcoming safe, state-of-the-art facilities. A traditional public school district, Lawrence Township boasts a 95% graduation rate. On the court and in the arts, our students excel. Join the Lawrence Township family, where learners thrive, surrounded by values that resonate with home. Lawrence Township, your destination for a brighter future.
Many thanks to Sean Walker, Adam Clendenning, and Elijah Mash, making sure our signal gets to you Again, we've got all 4 doubleheaders being played in Indiana. Jan Bozier joins me tomorrow night from Fishers for the Indiana Futures game featuring the top freshmen and sophomores in the state. Then on Wednesday night, Pete is back with me at Greenfield Central. Indiana Mr. Basketball Braylon Mullins gets one more game in his old gym. And Pete, let's look at it this way. Hancock County, half of them will be in that building because here's why. Braylon Mullins is playing. Julius Gizzi is playing. And oh, yeah, Luke Erdl, who might be the next Mr. Basketball from Mount Vernon. He's in the next game. He's in that game as well.
Yeah, that gym could be a little supersized. I mean, from that standpoint, it's going to be a great crowd.
You and I were there when it was full for Greenfield Central and New Pal back in December. We expect the same coming up at Jared Manning's place on Wednesday night. Then again, Jan Bozier rejoins me for the World Series of High School Basketball finale, Indiana and Kentucky. Saturday night, girls at 5, boys to follow. Again, from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Folks, this will take place 4 days before an NBA Finals game takes place at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Indiana is the place to be for hoops right now.
So 56-34 is the score. Indiana. It's going to be tough to match how well they played in the first half as Gilliard misses. Pull-up 3 does not go. Inside position, though. Shot blocked. And that's what Lola Lampley can bring to the table.
Coach Krebs starting the group that came in second off the bench here this second half.
Well, Berkeley Williams gets her first bucket of the game. Only Lola now has yet to score. Plainfield will be in that Hall of Fame Classic as well. You mentioned Warsaw on the girls' side. Plainfield will be in that on December the 22nd as well. Lampley could not track it down.
I got to tell you, Greg, our stat sheet said that Berkeley Williams hit a 3 in the first half instead of Molly. So I think we may have goofed that up on the score sheet. My bad.
Now, I have the hubris to say, or I got it right and they got it wrong.
Okay, that could be.
Also a possibility.
That could be. Again, Indiana just playing really solid defense. They're playing up the line. Good help side defense there. Great rotation. That time by Gillard.
Lampley. Again, yet to score. Williams again, no. But Shirley just kind of hanging around the rim, which is what she does. And we'll have an official's time because number 6 inadvertently got popped on that one. That being Jaden Cook. So we give her a minute to make sure that she's all right, and she'll actually hop out of the game here.
Pretty big deficit in an all-star game, 25 points behind, but now Indiana not only is going to try, because we have a kick there on the entry pass into the post, but now Indiana's got a chance to use a few different combinations. Maybe they didn't play in the first half. And again, part of what they're working for right now is to give that senior all-star team on Wednesday night at Greenfield Central all they can handle if they don't beat them even. Some years the juniors have won in Indiana.
On the drive, off the window, good looking shot. That's Sailor Lowe from Callaway County. Number just shy of 20 points a game. Pull up by Lampley is good, and I kind of get the feeling that the juniors ran their offense to make sure the 2 kids that hadn't scored got looks early in the half.
That's right. I am going to correct myself, checking with our engineer producer. That was Williams' first basket as she hit the 3, even though the stat sheet said she had one of Molly Ernest's.
Off the foot of Gilliard, just the second Indiana turnover.
Yeah. Oh, got to stop the ball. Let her get way too deep in there.
The drive, and James will shoot a pair of free throws.
Really impressed the first half with how much talk here, but notice no one stops the ball. She drops. She tries to cover 2 with 1, but the one thing that can score is the basketball. You've got to get the ball stopped and depend on your teammates to fill the defensive lanes and guard the person that it is passed to, but you don't want to give up a layup or a foul. And in this case, Ashlyn James hits the first of 2 free throws. Again, headed to Indiana University. She played at Louisville Assumption, or is playing there. 5'8" senior, averaged 12.2 a game last year. As a couple changes made for Coach Michael Robertson, the head coach of these Kentucky junior girls from Owensboro Catholic.
Well, knocked away. Lampley able to walk the tightrope and keep it.
Well, great athlete. She didn't block out, but still got the rebound.
Williams will see her teammate Hannah Menser tomorrow night in the Futures games. On the drive, Epps can't finish. And the rebound corralled by Kentucky. Did Williams get a piece of that?
I think she did.
No.
Nope, they did not. Boy, our angle thought she may have. But, again, turnovers just killing opportunities for Kentucky to get back into this. That's an unforced turnover, really. I mean, if your sideline break isn't open, then you keep it in your hands until you cross the 10-second line. And now I have a 1-2, 1-1, three-quarter court press put on by Kentucky.
Shot does not go. Lampley keeps it alive. Williams able to track it down, but then throws it away. And that stellar turnover record was not going to hold up for a second half.
There's a blocking foul. It's going to be on Epps. About a half step late trying to stop the drive there.
So a quick check of the players you're seeing today. Booker, Ernstus, Gilliard, Shirley, Wheeler, and Williams. This is the only game they will play of the group. The 6 that you'll see differently on Wednesday, as we've got a 3 taken by Kentucky that does not go. Keandria Butler of the champs from Lawrence North. Anaya McKenzie from Lawrence Central, as Shirley is fouled. Gabby Helsum from Homestead. Vanessa Rossworm from the 3A champs of Norwell. Lanaya Wills, who just committed to Butler this week from LaPel, led our team to the 2A championship runner-up position 2 years ago. And Brooks Artman, who you mentioned of Warsaw, they will all play on Wednesday night against Greenfield Central.
I think it's a neat way of doing this. I mean, these girls would like to play in both games. I understand that, but we just have you've got to appreciate the depth of quality of players Indiana as a state has now. And that, I guarantee you, much thought went through by the Coaches Association who they picked and, unfortunately, who didn't get in these junior all-star games. But, to that point you just said, you're going to have a strong team on Wednesday night also to face the seniors.
Shirley misses the first. Connects on the second. Now she will sub out. So of the group you're going to see today that comes back, the core 6, so to speak, Barnes, Bricker, Epps, Holman, Lampley, Wren. Those are the players that will come back for the Wednesday game at Greenfield Central.
Double high post there, horn set. But she never got the ball centered, which means your defense did a really good job of pinning it one side or the other.
Give the basket to Brianna Wilkins. And a foul as well. That'll go against Kamari Booker.
Booker just a little late on stopping the drive here. We're right on it. Right there, made some contact, caught her, and a good basket there by Wilkins. Her first attempt at the free throw line here, trying to make the old-fashioned three-point play. She has 6 going into that. Now she has 7.
4 players in this Kentucky squad from Louisville proper. 3 of them play Catholic high school basketball. Assumption, Mercy, and Sacred Heart all represented on this Kentucky team. Other players from the Louisville suburbs on this team as well. Foul call, and Bricker will shoot 2.
This is the first time we've seen Indiana run that set. They had a double screen set at the top. Bricker drove into where the screen was getting set, so they kind of exploded, and that left a little bit of a driving lane there.
Bricker uses a bit more rim than she wanted to, but still got it done. She's got 7. Give her 8. A very balanced effort by Team Indiana here.
I was just going to say, Greg, very efficient play by every one of these players. They've made a few turnovers here in this third quarter, but just been really efficient and conscientious of moving the ball.
Pull-up jump shot is good.
Addison Brissey, wasn't it?
Zaire Renee got it to go.
There you go, okay.
Ernstus with the deuce. Her first 2-point field goal. Really loved watching her Jennings County team play in the Hall of Fame Classic the previous year when she was a sophomore.
Skip pass should be stolen, yep.
Ernstus played the passing lane perfectly.
Did a great job, used her outside arm and everything. Unfortunately, Indiana turns it over on that opportunity.
But no dent made in the Indiana lead. In fact, the team from the Hoosier State has increased it by 2 since halftime. And Booker No. Touched last by Kentucky.
Well, these last two possessions defensively for Indiana just kind of epitomizes the whole game or sets that tone for the whole game. They've just played really good basketball defensively. Active hands.
Wren, shot blocked.
Blocked, yeah.
An original point to Kentucky, but that'll get overturned. There we go.
There we go.
Can you see the conference logo of the Mid-Southern Conference that Charlestown's a part of? That league going through some changes. Adding Madison, Eastern, and a drop back into the Mid-Southern Conference, which is what they were in the dark ages called when I was in high school.
Those weren't that dark, were they?
Well, we had plenty of light. Just not from computers back then. Jump ball is called. And Kentucky will maintain possession.
I would understand if you said dark ages when I played, because it was dark. We had the coal shortage one year. Couldn't even play the regional. We had to wait a week before we played the regional because of the energy shortage. Those were dark days. No lights.
Indiana has outscored Kentucky 10-8 here in the quarter.
Yeah, the pace is a little bit slower than we had in the first half. Not as much scoring.
Good take. Numbers now for Indiana. This is Barnes looking to lead the way. Booker, love the turnaround, just couldn't finish. But, you know, Barnes has not had a big impact in terms of points, but like just her nose to the ball and kind of knowing where to be on the floor, Pete, that's caught my attention.
Yeah, she's a good player, and on her own team back home, she averaged almost 22 points a game last year as Kentucky brings in 5 fresh players to try to stop this. Or actually, Indiana, I'm sorry, to try to stop this possession, and they do.
Wren got tied up. Arrow would go to Indiana if it gets there, but they won't need it. Wren able to track it down. You mentioned Barnes. Valparaiso made the semi-state round. Played at Case Arena this past year. Warsaw came out of that group. And there's Wren who puts it up and in.
Nice entry pass there. Threw it up high where only Wren could get it. I always used to tell my guys, when you throw it to a lob pass, if it goes out of bounds, no problem. If it doesn't hit them, no problem. Don't leave it short, because then it's going to be a live ball turnover, and it's 5-on-4 at the other end. Nice pass in there.
Unofficially 14 Kentucky turnovers. Look, at Indiana has controlled this game 12-1 in the playings of it sporadically since 2012. And one year where they played twice. That was 2019. Shot is good by Wren. And again, much like we said about Maya Makaluski, if you have that height and can make that shot, we are now at a point in time, Pete, where we can say this. People will pay you money to play college basketball.
Yeah, that's a difficult shot. I mean, being an old schooler, that step-back jumper, particularly when, you know, it's just tough for high school kids, as Indiana now brings in a line change. Kentucky did the last dead ball possession.
And here off the bench comes Lola Lampley, one of the best recruits in the nation. And Maddie Shirley, who is her school's all-time leading scorer, and Kiki Holman. Played on a team that was ranked #1 most of the season in Indiana. 3 is good. Good-looking shot by Abby Wright, so that's the second one she's made.
Yeah, they had 4 players on that left side, so it was kind of cleared out for her to hit the jumper. Indiana gave a little bit too much help side defense there.
Like that for Lampley.
Faded away.
Yeah, even though she didn't get it to go, like the spacing and the move.
Yeah, she didn't need to fade away. That was what caused it to be just short, long shot.
3 does not go. So we will see a new teammate for Lola tomorrow night. And Riley Shellhammer, who's going to make the move from Fishers to LC this year. She'll join Lampley and McKenzie on that new look LC team. Again, the 3. And Abby Wright's we might need to run a little more offense for Abby if you're Team Kentucky. She's made 3 threes.
Averaged 15.4 her junior year in high school at Mercy.
Shirley fires. That does not go. And that's going to be a jump ball. The arrow should stay here. It will.
Yeah, Indiana has jammed the rebound very well. When Kentucky gets defensive rebounds, they've either doubled or just jammed it there in that case. And all the Kentucky girls are running down the floor, left her nowhere as an outlet, and she got tied up.
Lampley with the left hand, can't get it to go. It has not been Lola's best day, and yet her team leads by 23. Another good job of playing the passing lanes by Indiana. Love the give and go between Holman and Williams. Basket doesn't go, but like the sharing of the basketball.
Yeah, some all-star games I've been involved with, first pass, whoever gets it shoots it. They've done a really good job of sharing the ball here.
See if it's a foul or a jump ball. Looks like it's going to be the former. Blocking foul called against Team Indiana.
If you missed the first half, Indiana scored 27 points in the first quarter, 29 in the second quarter to jump out to this big lead. 22-point at halftime lead.
Good read by Williams.
One more.
Gilliard.
Yep.
Gilliard was 7. Indiana has not been challenged since really the opening quarter of this one. Shot left short. Holman on the drive.
Did a great job of getting that basketball past the defender and then just went out and got it.
Pull up does not go. Rebound Shirley. Been very impressed by the basketball IQ of this Indiana team today. Williams pulls, and it always looks smart when you pull up and hit a three-pointer, right?
Yeah, her second one of the half of the quarter, actually, here in the second half.
Last year was a 35-point win for Indiana. Here we are sitting at 30 with a minute left to go in the third quarter. And again, Pete and I come in with far more knowledge of the Indiana kids than we do Kentucky. But I'm not sure this was expected again today. 3 in the corner on the closeout, no. Gilliard with the rebound. She'll pull from the elbow. Almost got it to go. Picking up the pocket by Holman. She's got 9. I was going to say, well, Indiana is not going to hit their offensive number from the last 2 quarters. And before I could say it, Pete, they put up 24 points in the quarter.
They're on a 9-0 run to finish that.
And a chance for 2 or 3 more.
Oh.
But you know what? That could have easily been a shot, and she's trying to find a teammate. That's a mistake. You go, hey, that's a great mistake. We can live with that.
Yeah. Yeah, very unselfish play.
And that'll be the end of quarter number 3. We'll take this quick timeout. Indiana going to run their record to 13-1 in this game. Only a question of the margin at this point. They lead at 80-48 from Charlestown. You're watching the Indiana-Kentucky Junior All-Star Game here on the ISC Sports Network.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Our friends at Unranked Hoops are partnering with the Indy Heat Gym Rats, Indiana's only Nike EYBL AAU basketball program. Unranked Hoops is dedicated to building a better way to do youth basketball through a series of skill development programs and Indy's first Euro-style basketball academy that starts this fall. Inside the walls, an newly renovated Unranked Hoops factory in Indianapolis. Unranked provides opportunities for both boys and girls youth hoopers to learn the skills needed for long-term development and success. Check out unrnkd.com. unrnkd.com. You and I both know Matt Galitko behind that effort well. How's progress at the factory coming along?
Good. He's real excited about it. He's got some teams playing, and he's coaching them up a little bit. He's a basketball junkie. His background playing at Mechanicawa High School and then Lafayette in the Patriot League, and just loves basketball, but is one whale of an attorney too.
Thanks, Matt, for your support and sponsorship of all the basketball that we do on the ISC Sports Network. This broadcast not possible at any of our sponsors, so please patronize those that make this telecast available. Now, as we are done this on a yearly basis, that shot, again, partially altered, if not just left short.
And Greg, this Indiana size, it's just got a couple inches at every position. Good display of sportsmanship there by Kentucky, but they've just had a lot of shots blocked. I have them down for 6 block shots now in the game. So Indiana has blocked 6 of Kentucky's shots.
Epps to shoot 2. Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. You're good at lots of things like cheering your team on to victory. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance agent Nathan Begley is good at your insurance. That's why Nathan's here to help you think through any question about auto, home, renters, business, or life insurance. Give him a call at the number on your screen. Stop by and see him in Avon. Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance congratulates Berkeley Williams of Plainfield. That is Lola Lampley of LC who gets the putback. So Epps with 10. Lampley gets her second field goal. And if we were in a high school basketball game, we'd be in running clock territory as of now. I don't think we're going to go to that in the All-Star game.
No. We got girls from all over the state here. Both, Kentucky also, but it's different parts of the state. You're going to play the whole game here.
Epps the miss, but the rebound goes to Holman. Great find. Epps left hand, no. Those two competed against each other in the Hall of Fame Classic this past year.
Yeah, they have similar games in some ways. I mean, they're just really good playmakers, scorers. Though, Kennedy has scored 12.2 this year. She had a pretty good player around her in our missed basketball situation. And as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Maya Epps, really great teammates around her at Homestead. They would score more for other teams. That's what I'm alluding to.
Epps now with a dozen. And Ernstus 14 leads all scores. Another Kentucky turnover. And again, Lampley can lead the break. Great dime. Barnes give it to her. I cannot tell you how much fun it has been to watch this team share the basketball today.
Oh, good wraparound pass there. Can't do anything with it except pass it back. Can't score.
Good sharing of the basketball by Kentucky, but Brissy couldn't finish. Holman on the drive.
I think we'll see a little bit more of that for her next year. She'll be scoring at a lot higher rate. We were talking off the air. Some of these Kentucky girls live closer to Charlestown than some of our Indiana girls.
Yes, they do.
I mean, it's being played in Indiana, but it is right across the river. And when you think of how far that Lily Barnes comes from Valparaiso to play today, Warsaw is a long way from here also.
Shot taken and missed by Jaden Cook. Indiana's 111 points last year, the most that they have scored in this game. In Kentucky's lone win in the series, they scored 111 back in June of 2019.
Oh, that's a forced pass that's going to be off Lampley's foot. Tried to put it right in between two girls there, thread the needle, and couldn't get it done.
The 35-point win last year was the largest win in this version of the series. That obviously is in jeopardy today. Lampley controls the glass. Barnes, Holman.
Okay, the Kentucky girls look a little gassed too. No disrespect to them. They've battled the whole game of getting back on defense. And I think even Coach Robertson, the Kentucky coach, understands he needs a timeout to get his girls just a little bit refreshing here. There's you see the replay of the last fast break.
In timeout taken by Kentucky. This timeout taken by our friends at Ed Martin Automotive Group. I want to congratulate Kiki Holman of Hamilton Southeastern for being a part of the Indiana-Kentucky Junior All-Star Game. When it comes to your next car, Ed Holman or Ed Martin is the only name you need to know. Find out more at edmartin.com.
You take a look at Michael Robertson, game director, also on the bench. Scott Chalk behind him a little bit here, just walked away from the bench there.
And you know what that responsibility is like. You did that for 1 year for Indiana. That's a lot of work that goes into this.
It is, but you've got a lot of people behind the scenes here. We'll talk about the Indiana, like Indiana's assistant to the coaches, Sabrina Davis-Williams. We have a little bit more resources. Mike Broughton, the game director, who we had one in between me. That's right.
Charlie Hall.
Right. Charlie Hall was in between Mike and I, but I still keep in constant touch with Mike and does a super job here. But it is a tough job. I mean, it's a good job, but it's a tough job. It's not really a job. It's because you're not getting anything out of it except the love of seeing high school basketball kids play and continuing this rivalry that we've had between Indiana and Kentucky since, 39? No, it's 39 maybe? Yeah. First year we played? Gosh, I just pulled that out of left field. But yeah, 1939 we started playing Kentucky in this series. Just boys at the time, obviously.
2 free throws missed. Girls, of course, started back in the mid-70s.
76. I got to tell you, I thought Kentucky was a little bit ahead of the times there, but Indiana has definitely passed them, and right now we've got a great crop of kids here.
The basket is good by Ashlyn James. She has 8. No Kentucky player double figures yet. Reitzel has 9 to face Kentucky. Indiana has a couple of players set to check in momentarily. Epps, the take, couldn't finish. But again, Barnes just all around the ball. You can tell she is a player that has kind of put her game secondary so others could shine in this game.
Right, because coming in, she was the 3rd leading scorer when you come into all averages from your high school team last year.
Another turnover made by Kentucky. In Indiana, I think there is little doubt they're going to get to 100 as Barnes misses. Only question is by how much are they going to get to 100?
Can they get to 112, which would be the record? And believe me, they're not playing for the record. They're not talking about it on the bench as to what the record is.
I guarantee you they are unaware of what the record would be. You and I have that information in front of us. They just think it's cool to play basketball and wear Indiana across their chest as any 17-year-old would.
And I was just getting ready to say, I know this is a substitution break, but Indiana's girls look a little fatigued also now. They've played a great pace of basketball, fun style to watch, and they've advanced the ball up instead of dribbling it up. And Coach Krebs makes a line change and gets some fresh Indiana players in there now.
And let's face it, Pete, at this level, these players have played AAU basketball for the last, couple of months. So they're in pretty close to mid-season form. A little bit of break after the high school season, and then spring AAU ball, your team ball in June, and back to the AAU circuit in July. Ernst does not have the impact in half number 2 she had in half number 1. Still is Indiana's leading scorer. Gilliard on the drive. Ball out of bounds to Team Indiana. And the sportsmanship has been good to see,
hasn't it?
Going in both directions.
Yeah, it sure has been.
I want to thank Mike Broughton, Pat McKee, everybody else involved with the Indiana All-Stars. On the drive, Bricker could not finish, but Bricker goes and gets it. Nice spin, and got the bucket to go. Bricker with a dozen. She is one of 4 Indiana players in double figures.
She can really play. Excellent defense, excellent defense. Good double. Stop the ball in individual drive. Holman. Good switch. I mean, Indiana has not stopped playing defense, that's for sure. Swarming the ball when it comes inside the paint.
Step through, no.
I think everyone expected some kind of call there, and they all stopped except for the Kentucky player.
Wilkins with 9. And another timeout just to get some subs on the floor. Wren, Booker, check in. Holman stays for Team Indiana. And boys game to follow this one. Ernstus now being guarded by Ty East from George Rogers Clark. Wren will pull for 3, and she now has a dozen. That's her second made 3. The Silver Creek Dragon gets it to go. Silver Creek does a great job of going all around the state to play games. They play in a great league. And one of my favorite stats that I have given in state championship broadcast over the years. And with Madison coming in, I think this still holds true. I got to double check. I think they made a 3A final a few years ago. But every team in that league had played in a girls basketball state championship game. Every team. And for Charlestown, you go back to the one class days when Abby Conklin played at University of Tennessee.
Remember Abby? Sure.
Conklin and Tennessee, Maddox to the University of Louisville out of that group.
Yeah, the schools in that league, as you're referring to, are just a lot of history.
Runner is up and good. That's Wilkins. She now has 11 to lead the way for Kentucky.
Truthfully, one of the best plays they've had the whole game. Right.
Gilliard for 3. That does not go. Well, barring a pretty spirited effort in the last 3:40 by Kentucky, this will be the largest margin of victory in the junior edition of the game. Foul going to be called against Holman.
Well, she did a good job, though, staying in front of the ball. She was giving up some size there. Did a good job. Could have been a jump ball just as easy.
2 free throws coming up. One more time. Let's tell you about Unranked Hoops. They're partnering with Indy Heat Gym Rats, Indiana's only Nike EYBL AAU basketball program. Unranked Hoops, dedicated to building a better way to do youth basketball through a series of skill development programs and Indy's first Euro-style basketball academy that opens this fall. Check out unranked.com for more information. Sign up for email list for updates. That's unrnkd.com.
Good patience by Indiana, not trying to do anything crazy and run it up, just trying to run half-court offense here. This series had a break. How many years was this series? Took a break from the girls series here?
So they played 12, 13, 14, 2 games at a time. Then didn't play again until 18 and 19. Took a 2-year COVID pause, and now they have played once each of the last 4 years. And again, the Kentucky juniors do play the Kentucky seniors as well. So these kids all get 2 games for Kentucky. The C opens, and there is the 100th point of the game. It's Gilliard now with 9.
Oh.
That's a tough landing. I hope she's all right.
Went down hard.
Yeah. Thankfully, it wasn't a fall from too terribly high up in the air, but still pretty solid hit. 2 free throws coming up.
Wren was just making a play on the ball, but her size kind of just knocked her down on the floor. Glad she bounced back up. She'll shoot a pair, as you said.
Keziah Renee, Butler High School in Louisville. Tell you how far Butler University in Indianapolis has come. When they beat Indiana in '93, the running joke in Southern Indiana is that Indiana just got beat by a high school in Louisville because they were a little more knowledgeable in that part of the state. Again, that was a significant wallop that she took. Makes the shot. My guess is she's going to be done for the day.
Yeah, she's hurt. She's holding the lower back there. You can see in her camera, holding the back a little bit. Wren hunting her shot there.
That's a good, clean steal. Good save by Wren. Gilliard, no. Good follow by Booker. And Booker will have a seat in the front row.
Stepped on the out-of-bounds line.
Pat McKee taking pictures there on the baseline for the Indiana All-Stars. Of course, Pat, a man of many talents. Longtime writer for the Indianapolis Star, member of the Indiana Sports Writers and Sportscasters Hall of Fame, and a state championship winning coach at Columbus North. Shot is up and good for Kamari Booker. Booker with 7.
Good basketball sense right there to take the dribble and clear the defense before trying to go up with that shot. Made a layup.
On the drive, it's good. Bucket goes for Yeast.
Good
nice
post
lead.
Feed.
Shirley.
From Wren. Nice post feed there.
Shirley, you can't be serious, but you can call her Shirley. She's got 9. 104-58 the score for Team Indiana.
And Indiana has not quit playing defense. Very few possessions. They just haven't had just gotten lazy. They have not done that. They have stayed in front of the ball and taken a lot of pride in keeping this Kentucky team potentially to 60 or less.
Indiana has rotated their players equally. Somebody's played more than 20 minutes. On the drive, good take. Yeast.
That took a while. And again, we are not using the shot clock today just because this facility doesn't have it on top of their scoreboards. But Kentucky has taken several times a lot of long possessions before they've shot even. So credit Indiana with staying tight defensively.
Shirley, not that time. Right now it's the 14 points for Ernstus that leads the way for Indiana. Madison Young from South Oldham. And South Oldham not far from Charlestown either. Ernstus not there, but there's Wren who got it to go. Wren will join Ernstus with 14 points.
Well, they're not going to get to the 111 total. Defensively, it's got to be one of the lower ones there, I would think, defensively. But 106 points in an all-star game is very, very good. Solid play. That means a lot of people are scoring.
Up and under, the step through. Give it to her. That's Jones, her first field goal, and Indiana can take the air of the basketball here. Final score, 106-64. Pete, final thoughts on this one?
Really impressed with the junior all-stars. Came in, we weren't bashing them, but we were just saying maybe not as strong as the senior group we have this year and the past few years. They played really well today, and we've got some others we're going to see on Wednesday night.
Kentucky would think about a line from the Who. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss for Indiana, 106-64. Time for our blue-collar player of the game, brought to us by Boilermakers Local 374. Become a Union Boilermaker and be on your way to a great career. Find out more when you log on to local374.org. Again, when this game was competitive, Ernstus's 4 threes kind of helped separate it. She and Wren finished with 14. Molly Ernstus is our Boilermakers Local player of the game.
Didn't force a shot, only missed 1 3-point field goal. Just really solid. You see how her range she has, and she's going to be an exciting player to watch next year for the Panthers.
The colors she's wearing the same as she does as a Jennings County Panther. Again, congratulations to Molly. Today's game brought to us by the Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know. By Galetco and Daly, work, injury, lawyers. Learn more at IndianaWorkers.com. By Lawrence Township Schools. Learn more about Lawrence Excellence at LTschools.org. By Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance in Avon. Call Nathan Begley today and let's insurance together. By Unranked Hoops, Indy's first Euro-style basketball academy that starts this fall. Check out unrnkd.com. And by Hamilton Southeastern Schools, open students outside of the HSE district. Learn more at hseschools.org. Again, we're getting you ready for Indiana, Kentucky, and the boys. We'll give ourselves a break. We'll come back when that game's ready to start. But for now, for Pete Smith and our entire ISC Sports Network crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Indiana girls win by 42. Thanks for joining us on ISC.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a Union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374